Ride across these plains and prairies, Rocky Mountain highs, fade off into the distance like those riders in the sky. Black smoke and white line, steel horses side by side. It's more than just a living, y'all. Hell, it's our way of life. We're the last of the cowboys. Giddy up, cowboys. 18 wheels on the concrete, it's a slow and dying breed. Rolling like Jesse James, modern day outlaw game. If you're out here riding with me, come on back and make some noise. We're the last of the cowboys. It's a family tradition, diesels running through our veins. Daddy showed us the roads, we're going the fast lane. Branded by our heroes, taught to saddle up and move. Keep this country rolling, we're damn proud of what we do. We're the last of the cowboys, giddy up cowboys. 18 wheels on the concrete, it's slow and dying breed. Rolling like Jesse James, modern day outlaw game. If you're out here riding with me, come on back and make some noise. The last of the cowboys. Third time generation. Little old school salvation. Blazing trails across this nation. Sea to shine to sea. We're the last, we're the last, we're the last of the cowboys.
What's going on, everybody? It is Sunday night. Sunday night, we got back to our roots there with some Tony Justice bringing us in. Yeah, we did. Let me get this other phone pulled up and I can see the chat. I got y'all up on the sun visor there in the little pocket. Mainly because I didn't feel like unhooking this audio cable from the other phone and that mount that it's on over there. So y'all are on the sun visor. Big Road Little Truck, what's up? Stu Man Chews in the house. Michael M. Thomas Wilson, what's going on? Yes, 184,000. Maybe that's an updated number. I know at the convoy last night they said it was just over 160. So Snorlord's in the house. No, Steve, actually, I've had this one for a while. I'm just going to start wearing it again. It's been riding back there on the top bunk. Jeff Beard's in the house. Thank you, sir. Let's see. Yeah, Steve, I saw the first one with the trucks, and I saw that you loaded the second one. I'm going to watch that after this quick live feed. This is going to be about 30 minutes because we have dinner cooking in the oven. And so we're going to do a little quick live feed while dinner cooks, and then it's going to be time to get something to eat. I have not had anything to eat all day. Not because I couldn't, but simply I just felt like continuing on driving. So Thomas went to the bar next to Jordan's last night. Yeah, man, I watch their website every day. Not necessarily every day, but I look at it a couple times a week just because I like to look at trucks. And they got a nice W9 in. It's a little high price for my blood, considering what it is, but it's super nice. Stu Man Chew, what's going on? Found a sun visor to find a bumper. No, actually, that place there, they could order me one. The only thing they keep on hand, and actually they were out of it yesterday, they do normally stock a 16-inch bumper for my truck, but they said that they only normally keep one or two, and they didn't have one on hand yesterday. In reality, I would like an 18-inch. I've seen several 386s at fuel islands and whatnot, and they look really good. And I just went up and asked the people, hey, you know what size bumper that is? Most everybody's been all cool about it, and I just grabbed a tape measure and measured it. They don't mind, and it's 18 inches is the one that I like. So I'm gonna have to order that from anybody, because even like Iowa 80, 75 Chrome Shop, they don't stock bumpers for 386s. They're just not in demand enough, and They're more expensive than a flat bumper for like a Peterbilt 389 or a W900. That's just a flat bumper. A wraparound bumper is about a third or almost half as much more money. So, big road, little truck. Well, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Hi. Tony Justice back in the house. That's right. We saw Tony a little bit last night. Last night was my first convoy with Gbats. It was my first Gbats show. And Tony was there playing, and then Confederate Railroad came on. And yeah, Thomas, that's the right one. That's the right one. So we saw that. I'm gonna tell you what, I've been to a lot of truck shows, more than likely not as many as a lot of people. I've been to 75 Chrome Shop, their show. I've done that 3 times. I went to one in Crossville, Tennessee at Fitzgerald Glider Kits once. And, you know, I've been to Mats twice, Gbats twice, and now I've done Gbats. Salty Pirate, what's going on? And Pale Rider's in the house. I didn't see you sneak in here. What's going on, man? But I'm going to tell you what. If you are a person who likes shiny, pretty trucks, cool, working trucks, over-the-top show trucks, there was a few over-the-top, super over-the-top show trucks there. Majority of what I saw at Gbats was impeccable working trucks. Trucks that you could tell maybe don't run 600-700 miles a day long haul trucking, but they're moving up and down the road. Yeah, there was a couple, you know, trucks there that were definite trailer queens, and there's a place for that, and they're cool to look at.
Say a command.
I don't want to say a command. I hear you, Pale Rider. But there was a lot of show trucks. I want to say I heard the number 700 something trucks on the ground, and I believe it. They were packed in like sardines on both sides of the road. They were taking up half the pilot part. If you're familiar with Joplin and the truck stops there, they had every inch of space at the Chrome Shop Mafia taken up. The businesses across the street, like the tire shop and the chrome polishing place, and all of that was full. And then they even had some spilt over into the pilot parking lot. It was a lot of trucks, and they were, for the, I would say at least 80% were trucks that go up and down the road every single day. Now, Kurt, you know, you had some trailer queens, you had some rat rod type trucks, you know, that were just novelty items. But a good 80%, I would estimate, were up down the road every day and looking awesome. And then, of course, we did the convoy. I was not in the show. This truck is not near on that level. So we weren't in the show. We stayed at the Petro there, me and James Best, Mike Minter, and Recon Trucker, Hector, and his daughter. We were all at the Petro. And Russ Maynard, he was there too. We all had breakfast Saturday morning. And but anyway, yeah, Thomas, it's, for what it is, it's okay. It's not a bad price. It's got fenders on it, extra boxes, headache rack, and everything like that. For what it is, that's a good price. But because of everything that it's got on it, it's more money than I would spend for one without those things, because none of those 3 things I care to have. So that drives the price up. That truck without the boxes, fenders, and headache rack, you can look at MHC and they got them for $155. So that's why I say what I say. But anyway, so yeah, we got to the we did the chrome shop and the show yesterday, and went in the chrome shop, and they had a big sale going on, and I saw a visor that I really liked. I saw a visor that I really liked, and it was on sale. Drop visor for a Peterbilt, and the guy told me it would bolt right up to my existing brackets, or it had new brackets, but it would go into the holes that were already in my cab. And with the sale and everything, it came out, it was only $189. Stainless steel 14-inch drop visor. I'm like, cool. So we got that, and got over to the truck, and it was the wrong one. It did not bolt into my holes. So had to go back, and they did have one. It took them a while. There's only one manufacturer, Phoenix something. They make a visor for the Pete 386, 389, blah, 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 all these cabs, that it does bolt right in to the existing holes. And Gear Grabber, what's up? So got that visor. It's actually a 15-inch visor. It was a little more money. It was about $80 more, 70-something dollars more. But got it put on. And that was the bad part. Once I got it and realized how big the box was, I also realized that I couldn't live in the truck with the box in the truck. So it had to be put on then. So I spent most of the second half of the day yesterday putting the visor on. And anyway, and got that put on. Then we did the convoy, and I'm gonna tell you what, that's the first time I've ever been in any kind of a parade, and it was a truck parade, and that was an absolute blast. If you're ever in Joplin with the opportunity to do it, you don't have to have a show truck. There was company trucks, there was beat up trucks. It's all for charity. The money paid to get into the convoy goes to the Special Olympics. And it was an absolute blast. It was probably, Steve, if you're still in here, I don't know if you are, I would say it's probably about a 15, 20 mile ride, maybe somewhere in that neighborhood that we did parade route. And maybe not, it's probably, somewhere around 15 miles, I'd say. But there was people all the way lined up. Some of the more rural parts, it'd be little pockets, people standing in front of you, but people were out from their houses, standing at the edge of the road. There was parks and such on the route, and people were lined and gathered. It was the coolest thing. And it was absolutely crazy. And then the convoy led us right into downtown Joplin. If you've ever been in downtown Joplin, that was the first time I've been in downtown, but it's much like any smaller, older part of downtown area that you would think of, an older downtown area in a city with the buildings, your main street with all the blocks and the buildings on, and they had closed off, I think, 10 blocks of Main Street, and the trucks, we just lined up on Main Street. There was all the little side roads of the roads that cross Main Street. There was trucks lined on those, and had a concert down at the end of it. Food vendors going. It was really, really cool. Fun thing to do. And I think the total number was 509 or 513, somewhere in there, were the amount of trucks that was in the show. Absolutely crazy. And it was a good time. The best truck show I've been to by far. And then on top of that, we started, we got out after we got parked, we walked the line, and at the very back of the line was Kenworth W990 truck number 1, the very first production W990. That was the truck that was unveiled in Vegas. It was the truck that was in Vegas on Thursday. The minute that show was over, 2 drivers got in it, and they drove straight to Joplin and arrived Friday night. and they were there at the Gbats show on Saturday, and did the convoy. So it was really cool. Now, James didn't throw out any candy. There was a food liner truck in front of us that was throwing out candy. But we did a lot of horn blowing. And the horns were getting a workout last night in that parade. And so that, it was really cool. The W990, my thoughts on that. So, for one, MHC Kenworth had it there. Truck was already sold. And it was very... it wasn't over-the-top custom. It had a custom 3-color paint job. It had the guy said it was a 276 wheelbase. I forget the name of the company that he said it was that already owned it. But anyway, it was production number 1, and basically looking at this truck in person, it is a mid-roof T680 cab. Exact same cab, same dash, same steering wheel, same seats. You get the swivel seat if you want it. You get the swivel table if you want it. Anything you can get in a mid-roof T680 is now in the W990. As of right now, they don't offer the full height sleeper of the T680, but I imagine that will come. And so basically what they did is they stretched the frame out on a T680, moved the cab back a little ways, put a big hood on it. And then, you know, your traditional W900 step boxes were there, exposed fuel tanks, the whole 9 yards. So you know, thinking about it like that, it's a cost-effective way, because the cab of the W900 used to be shared by the T660. That truck's been gone for 3 years now, I believe. And being the realist that when you start looking at these businesses, the W900 was a very, very small portion of Kenworth sales. Minuscule amount compared to the other trucks. So that's what drove this. The W900 with its outdated cab, outdated everything inside of it. They don't use that cab anymore, only for the W900. It didn't make business sense to continue a complete production assembly on a truck that they don't sell that many of. So, you're now going to have a T680 cab slid back on the frame rails with a big hood on it. And actually seeing it in person, I liked it a lot more than what I had seen in the pictures. The hood is still very tall. I know I'm 5'8", and a W900 is every bit of probably 6'2", maybe even 6'6", where you would grab to open the hood. And this new W990 is at least 6 foot tall. Is it a little shorter than the 900? Maybe. I couldn't quite tell it. I kind of got the idea that it was. They didn't have two sitting side by side for me to verify that. It did seem that it was a little lower, but it's still well above my head. So I'm going to put it at least 6 foot. So it's still a very big hood. It has that classic line. Now, of course, the cab has that T680 line and everything there, but it's a modern cab. You know, you're going to have that quieter ride. You got the swivel chair if you want it, the swivel table, those luxury items there that are ergonomics and come in handy when you're living in the truck. So for that fact of it, I understand. And the guy that was there with the truck from MHC Kenworth, he did confirm, not only is the W900 going away, production has already ended. There are no more being built. What's out there is what's out there. There may be some still to come to lots simply because they haven't made it from the plant to the lots yet. But production, according to him, and this was the lead manager person from MHC in Joplin, production has already stopped on the W900. It is over. So I would take his word for that, being that he's a lead person in the MHC brand and they're the largest Kenworth dealer in the country. So there's that. I like the truck though. I like the W900. The sentimental part of me is sad to see that it's going away. But I understand the business aspect of it. These companies, they're out here to make money, just like we're out here to make money. It made no business sense to continue selling a truck that made up such a small portion of their sales. They can justify it now because all that they're doing is making an additional hood. It's still the same cab, frame rails are frame rails. The only difference is the hood now. So it cuts their cost way down versus continuing to manufacture an entire truck that they're not going to sell that many of. If you stop and think about it, it makes sense. You know, you compare that, Peterbilt's still making the 389, but when you look at their sales numbers, according to some people, it's 30% of Peterbilt sales. So the 389 makes sense. I mean, I've got a 386. They don't make this truck anymore. But this is the same cab as a 389. This cab has been around since 1987. This is a 379 cab. They changed the dash in it. They moved the mirrors off the doors. They've made some tweaks through the years. But this is the same cab from 1987. So, if they weren't selling very many of them, this truck, Pete 389s wouldn't be made. Simple fact of the matter is it makes up roughly 30% of Peterbilt sales, so they're going to continue to make it. But I like the W990 after seeing it in person. I saw some of the leaked photos and things like that. Wasn't too hip on it, I didn't think. But after seeing it in person, getting up, sitting behind the wheel, looking out over the hood, I liked it. And then, you know, it's just the icing on top that you can get that swivel chair, swivel table, have that nice sleeper and everything that's in the T680. It's the best of both worlds. So I enjoyed seeing that truck and you know, being one of the first ones to see it. I know it was in Vegas and it was at Gbats all day. So I enjoyed being able to see that. 87 was a good year. But after seeing that truck in person, I was much impressed compared to what I thought I would be with the pictures I'd seen. So, is it a W900? No, it's not. It's not a W900. Is it a modern interpretation of one? Yes, it is. And if you think about it like this, here's the way you have to kind of look at this. The fact of the matter is that W900 sold so few, that truck was going away. Whether or not they built a new one, a new version, is beside the point. Now, in my opinion, after seeing this truck last night, Kenworth did a very good job of taking the W900 and bringing to market a modern interpretation that, while it's not a W900 like we're used to seeing, it is a very good representation of that style of truck. Big hood, chrome, stainless. It's a very good interpretation of that. Daniel Adami's in the house. Man, you're about 15 minutes late. But so if you're given the option of having the W990 and that style of truck, or no big hood Kenworth, I'll take the W990 because the 900 was going away. There's no doubt about that. They just didn't sell enough. Big John, what's going on? I see you in here. But, so yeah, we got back on the road today. Gbats was cool. Did the convoy. We got us a visor. And, we made it all the way. We left Joplin this morning, and I am now in Dwight, Illinois. W990. No, Sergeant Ringo, I didn't do much shooting a video. I'll be honest with you. We got down there Friday night late, just in time to see about the last 20 or 30 minutes of the tractor pulling. We hung out with Steve in Springfield because I had to get loaded Friday. James had to deliver down the road from Springfield. So we stayed in Springfield Friday and hung out with Steve, went to Bass Pro, and went to dinner. And then after dinner and everything, me and James drove down to Joplin. Ding, lasagna's ready. But anyway, so we got down to Joplin, I think it was around 9:30-ish Friday night, and went over and watched the last little bit of the tractor pulling, and then we hung out with Hector and Mike Mentor for a little while there in the parking lot at the Petro. And then Saturday, we all got up, and Russ Maynard joined us, and we had breakfast at the Petro, and then we made our way over to the show, and within about 30 minutes, we were in the chrome shop because we started off on that side of the road, and I got tied up on this visor deal, and honestly, I spent the rest of the day with the visor up until time to do the convoy. So that was pretty much the extent of my Gbats on the ground show there. I saw a lot of the show trucks Friday night when we walked around, and I saw about half of them were probably there Thursday while I was there in Joplin initially, and saw a lot of them then. So, and then I got to see a lot of them again downtown last night, walking through once we got parked with the convoy in downtown. Everybody was there lined up. It was a massive, chicken light show. So, but really enjoyed it. James did not buy me dinner, but that's to be expected, right? That is to be expected. But I will take that back. Thursday night, me and James met in Springfield, and he did pick up the tab. He did pick up the tab there in Springfield Thursday night, so I'll give him that. But yeah, we had a good time. Gbats was awesome, and enjoyed the mess out of it. That convoy was absolutely awesome. There we go. Nailed it. Yep. James Best talks about that swivel chair a lot, doesn't he? Yes, he does. I appreciate it, Gary Grabber. Nope, nobody went to jail. We didn't have any accidents. Everything was good to go. We enjoyed it. It was an absolute blast. Totally different show, though, like we talked about on the phone. Totally different show than, say, Gbats or Mats. Totally geared differently. Just a different... but that's how it's intended to be, and it was very good time. Yeah, there we go, Thomas. Yeah, Big Rig Radio. He needs to get one of them W990s. Yeah, no, I don't think that's gonna happen. I think Jeff's gonna be pro starring it till he's 10 toes up. But so yeah, we're in Dwight, Illinois now. I had intended to go to Bloomington, Illinois, and got held up in a little traffic. I had enough time initially when I started my day to make it to Bloomington without even having to do a 30-minute break from Joplin, Missouri to Bloomington, Illinois. Well, we got in a little traffic jam and such in a couple of the construction zones, and wasn't going to be able to make Bloomington, so I hit a rest area, did a 30-minute break, and I was only about 20 minutes from Bloomington. And I just decided, I said, you know, I'm not really ready to stop. I'm not super hungry yet, so I kept on going. I made it about another hour past Bloomington. I'm in Dwight, and I think we got about 50 miles to go to our delivery in Joliet in the morning. And I'm stoked because we deliver in Joliet tomorrow morning, and then we've got a reload already booked out of Romeoville, going to Mississippi for a first stop, and then on to Florida for the final drop. They're going to take about, based on the weights on my Raycon, they're going to take about a third of it off in Mississippi, and then the rest of it to come off in Florida. And that'll deliver Thursday morning. And from there, we're going home. We're going camping this weekend. Stone Mountain, here we come. So looking forward to that. And kids are out of school for a long weekend, so we're going camping Friday and not coming home till Monday. So going to be a good time. My brother's going with us with their kids, and looking forward to that. So it's nice to know that this week here is already taken care of. I don't have to call a broker or anything like that. We're going to have a break from that. Not that it's a bad thing, but it's a lot of phone calling sometimes. So there we go. Stone Mountain, come on down. And so we're going to do that this coming weekend. And actually, remember, I don't know if y'all saw the video. My kids have been after me to do a video, and a couple people asked about the camper. So Friday, I will probably do a camper tour and let my kids throw a cameo appearance in there so they can get their giggles. Because I'm going to promise you now, both of them, that's what they'll be doing, is giggling and cackling. But anyway, they'll get their kicks. So we'll do that Friday probably, before we get ready to head out. But anyway, so that's what we're doing. And I want to thank Steve showing us around Springfield over Friday night. Took us to the Bass Pro. Took James by a humidor. It was pretty cool. Bass Pro, the original Bass Pro, the headquarters there in Springfield, is crazy cool. Huge place. If you're ever in Springfield and you want something to do, just go to Bass Pro. They got a whole nature museum. They've got a museum of how the Bass Pro got started, which, if you had never done any research or didn't know anything about it, it started in the guy's dad owned liquor stores, and he started selling lures in a corner. And that's how it got started. And they got a little like a replica of the liquor store with liquor on the walls and everything, and it's exactly how it was laid out where he started selling fishing lures. And then they got this whole NASCAR museum, because Bass Pro is big in sponsoring NASCAR. A couple of Dale Earnhardt Seniors cars, Junior, got the Jamie McMurray car from 2010 when he won the Daytona 500. And if y'all watch NASCAR, if you remember a couple of years ago, Austin Dillon got into the fence at Daytona, and that car is in there. What's left of it? It's not much, but that car is in there. It's pretty cool. Big John, Bass Pro bought out Cabela's a couple of years ago, but they're leaving it its own brand. So they're owned by the same corporation, but Cabela's are still called Cabela's, and they still look like Cabela's, but they're owned by Bass Pro. Let's see. Thomas Wilson says Stone Mountain's 11 miles from his house. All right, cool. He's leaving Friday in his motor coach, headed for Talladega. That's a week early, right? Isn't Dover next? Dover's next weekend. Are you going for a whole week in Talladega? There you go, Thomas. Yeah, Gear Grabber, we can't talk him into it. We can't talk him into doing the videos. I don't know why. I don't know why. Okay, cool, Thomas. Yeah, that's going to be a blast the whole week at Talladega. But I know my brother both my brothers and a cousin and some of their friends, they're coming to Talladega, but I think they're coming down Thursday, I want to say. Thursday, the Thursday before the race. Anyway, well, I'm going to jump off here. Dinner's ready. Get me something to eat. Call it a night. And we're going to go deliver in the morning in Joliet. And then we'll go pick up our load and head southbound to Mississippi and Florida to get it on home by Friday. But anyway, had a good time at Gbats. We're starting to doll up the rig a little bit. Got us a visor. And if you ever have the opportunity. Now, Gbats, I'll say this really quick before I end the video. Gbats up to now has been every year. This was the 10th anniversary. They are going to every other year. So there will not be one next year. It'll be 2020. If you have the opportunity, if you like cool, shiny trucks, trucker gathering atmosphere, go to Gbats. The convoy is $100 to join the convoy. It's all goes to benefit the Special Olympics, and it is an absolute blast. Absolute blast. So if you have the opportunity to go in 2020, I highly recommend it. I will be there. So with that, I'm gonna get out of here and eat some dinner, and more than likely I will see y'all Friday with a video so my kids can get their kicks. 10-4. So y'all be safe. Remember, keep the rubber side down and the shiny side up, and we will catch y'all again later. Peace out.